guys, it's Julie with Julie on Books, and today I will be reading and discussing with you a poem on the topic of influence and character. This poem is called Conscience, and it is by Charles William Stubbs. I sat alone with my conscience in a place where time had ceased, and we talked of my former living in the land where the years increased. And I felt I should have to answer the question it put to me, and to face the answering questions through all eternity. The ghosts of forgotten actions came floating before my sight, and things that I thought were dead things were alive with terrible might. And the vision of all my past life was an awful thing to face, alone with my conscience sitting in that solemnly silent place. And I thought of a faraway warning, of a sorrow that was to be mine, in a land that was then the future, but now is the present time. And I thought of my former thinking of the judgment day to be, but sitting alone with my conscience seemed judgment enough for me. And I wondered if there was a future to this land beyond the grave, but no one gave me an answer, and no one came to save. Then I felt that the future was present, and the present would never go by, for it was but the thought of my past life growing into eternity. Then I awoke from my timely dreaming, and the vision passed away, and I knew that far-off seeming was a warning of yesterday. And I pray that I may not forget it in this land before my grave, that I may not cry in the future and no one come to save. And so I have learned a lesson which I ought to have known before, and which, though I learned it dreaming, I hope to forget no more. So I sit alone with my conscience in the place where the years increase, and I try to remember the future in the land where time will cease. And I know of the future judgment, how dreadful soe'er it be, that to sit alone with my conscience will be judgment enough for me. And that was called Conscience by Charles William Stubbs. I think there's a line that kind of, he talks about yesterday, talks about the future, but where is this line? In the place where the years increase, and I try to remember the future in the land where time will cease. So I guess taking into consideration what your conscience is telling you, focusing on the future, and I guess it's kind of looking at the past and seeing the future. So, alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I will talk to you soon.